All right, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Leadership Brainery's 2022 Graduate School Summit Masterclass Info Session. Welcome. So happy to see all of you here. I am going to introduce myself in case you don't know who I am. My name is Yolanda Marti. I'm Leadership Brainery's Talent Recruitment Specialist. I'm so excited to be in front of you all today giving this information session. Hoping to see all of your applications. If you have already applied, thank you so much for applying. If you haven't applied yet, so excited to get to know you more throughout your application process. I also would like to take a second and introduce two of our founders, Jonathan Allen and Derek Young Jr. If y'all would like to take a second and introduce yourself, and then we will get straight into our information session.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much, Yolanda. I am extremely excited to be here today for this information session. This is our fourth graduate school summit. We've been doing this summit since 2019, and it is always incredible. So I'm just excited to start receiving your applications. I'm excited for October 11th through the 14th for us to actually spend time with you all, help you all develop your graduate school applications, introduce you all to our partner schools, and honestly just have a great time and make sure that you are on the right path. And so we have a lot of great information to share today that Yolanda will share with you, but please get those applications in ASAP so you don't miss this opportunity. And so I'll pass it over to our partner, Jonathan.
Hey, everybody. I'm Jonathan Allen. I am Director of Development here at Leadership Brainery, and it's just so amazing that our fourth year for the Graduate School Summit is right upon us, and really thrilled about all of your applications coming in and you getting the chance to be a part of this very selective opportunity, but yet special opportunity to really connect with the graduate schools that we're working with hand in hand to continue to cultivate an environment where you can belong and thrive in their programs as a gateway to management level and leadership roles in the workforce. And so if you are one of those individuals who's saying, I'm trying to figure out how to level up, how to connect the dots, how to receive the resources and support systems necessary on my graduate school journey, you are in the right place. Get those applications in for the Graduate School Summit. It's going to be an incredible masterclass, and we look forward to meeting you there. It's going to be dynamic, and we hope to see you be a part of it.
All right.
Take it away, Yolanda.
Thank you so much for those introductions. We are going to get straight into our info session. We are going to start off with our agenda for this session. So as you can see, as you just saw, we already started with our introductions. Those are out of the way. And now we are going to go into our vision, our mission, the reasons why we do what we do at Leadership Brainery, the reasons why you should attend our summit, and our goals for the future. We're going to talk about the summit, give you a daily rundown of what to expect, the schedules for the days, the industries that we are prioritizing, the takeaways, so things that you will actually receive and process throughout the summit. We're going to go straight into our application, give an overview of that, things to submit, tools and tricks along the way, some useful tips, a little bit of encouragement, and then a Q&A at the end. All right. So hopefully that's clear. I do encourage all of you, though, as well, if you have questions along the way, feel free to use the chat feature in Zoom, and that way I can see and address your questions along the way, as well as, if you have any questions you'd like to verbalize, please save those questions for the Q&A at the very end. All right. If we don't have any questions, I'm going to move on to the vision. So let's talk about why Leadership Brainery does what we do, why we work so hard to encourage you all to apply to graduate school and assist you along the way. Leadership Brainery envisions a day when competitive postgraduate classrooms, we're talking master's and doctoral classrooms throughout the country, are enriched by an equitable representation of first-generation and diverse students. First-generation and diverse students can also encompass low income as well as LGBTQIA+. And those students, we want them to be empowered to transform our country's leadership. We want you all to get into positions where you are making tangible change in this country beyond just having a graduate degree, but utilizing that graduate degree towards change. Our theory of change at Leadership Brainery is that with greater resources and access to inclusive networks and advanced education, underrepresented communities can leverage impactful and higher wage careers to establish financial stability and reinvest in their communities to create generational prosperity. We want you all to be able to utilize, like I said, that graduate degree, right? That graduate, that doctoral degree, and reinvest, pour back into your communities. And our goal, our vision is to help you get there. All right, so that is our vision, but we also have our mission. So you can't have a vision, you can't have a goal without taking steps to attain that goal, to get there. So at Leadership Brainery, we work directly with our graduate school partners to ensure that not only are we able to support you in your journey to master's and doctoral degrees, but that the schools themselves are also doing all that they can to support you on campus. We would never, ever partner with the schools that is not also taking steps to ensure that you feel a sense of belonging on their campuses. And our partner schools are doing just that. They're committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion and building that culture of belonging on their campuses. Leadership Brainery partners with the best, the top of the top, right? You can see some of our graduate school partners below. All of those schools that are listed on the bottom of this slide will actually be in attendance at our graduate school summit. We have schools like MIT Sloan School of Management, Harvard Business School, Boston University, Brandeis. We have a bunch of schools that are offering you the best of the best and supporting you along the way to graduate school. So if you're looking to apply to any of these schools, you're trying to figure out how to stand out from the crowd along the way of applying to these graduate school programs, the summit is the place you need to be. You need to put your face in front of these graduate school recruiters and say, hey, you're looking for me, I'm looking at you, I want to apply to your school, you need to know who I am, right? So this is the opportunity of a lifetime for you if these schools are of interest to you and you're looking to apply to graduate school. Okay, so that's our mission. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more of the actual summit. So before I go over this slide, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of the summit in case you're at this summit, you're at this info session, I'm sorry, and you're saying, you know, I just want a little bit more information about the summit. I've just heard a little bit about it. Well, our graduate school summit is taking place October 11th through the 14th. We're specializing on 4 days, 4 individual days, specifically focusing in on 4 different industries. And those industries are STEM and Health on October 11th, Arts and Humanities on October 12th, Law and Policy on October 13th, and Business on October 14th. Okay. Each of those 4 days, like I said, are prioritizing a specific industry, and those days are going to have offerings of workshops, networking opportunities, and career-specific exposure for you. And those opportunities you can see on the right side of your screen. So each of the days will start off with breakfast. That breakfast will be from us at Leadership Brainery to you. Make sure you're nourished, make sure you're full and ready to present your best self throughout the day. We're going to have a keynote speaker each day. Now that keynote speaker, although the schedule is the same for each day, we have specific opportunities for it to be specific to the industry, keynote speaker being one of them. Each of the industry days will have a specific keynote speaker that will be prioritizing that industry. And that will be a front runner of that industry to talk to you specifically about STEM and Health, Arts and Humanities, Law and Policy, or Business. Then we actually get into our personal and professional development, one of which being our Passion Purpose Planning workshop. That is a workshop in which we are encouraging you, teaching you, inspiring you to take your passion, your goals for the future, the things that light you up inside, and utilize those towards your future goals. Then following that, we have breakout sessions. Now, you might have heard me mention a little bit about or seen a mention of personal networking opportunities. Those breakout sessions are those opportunities. You'll be able to network with students going through the application process just as you are, or working professionals looking to go back to school and build those connections, expand that LinkedIn network, right, and get your foot in the door with those relationships. Then we will jump straight into lunch, catered as well by Leadership Brainery. Then we go into industry career exposure. We will have one of our industry partners come and do a presentation for you specifically on their industry and how their graduate school degree helps them get to where they are today. Then we have a presentation on how to leverage Leadership Brainery, hosted by myself and my coworker Hannah, talking specifically about ways that you can leverage Leadership Brainery further than just the graduate school summit, and a little bit more information about our program, our platform, Dear Future Colleague. Lastly, we have Mastering Your Application. That is a workshop hosted by schools that you will be applying to, our partner schools, and it will be a panel format where you will learn more about the application process, as well as be able to submit specific questions that you have to be answered by these school representatives. And then last but not least, we end every day with a networking reception where you can build those personal and professional connections with both recruitment specialists from schools, as well as your peers who are going through this process with you. So that is the opportunity that I was talking about, where you have that face-to-face exposure with representatives specifically from those graduate schools. Okay, that was a lot. But right now, what we are actually going to do is take a little bit more of a deep dive into the application. So now we've talked about the summit. We're going to talk more about the application and what you need to do now to be able to get you there in October. So the application, as a little bit of an overview, should only take you about 20-30 minutes maximum. We want you to have the opportunity to put your best face forward, present the parts of yourself that you love and care about, and we want to read what inspires you to go to graduate school. We want to learn more about you so that we can make sure that we tailor this experience specifically to you and make sure that we place you on the right day and make sure we're putting you in those opportunities, in front of those opportunities that you need to be successful. Okay, so 3 of the things that you are going to take away from the summit, I'm sorry, right before I jump into the application, I already touched on them a little bit, but just as another way to seal the deal for you: personal and professional development, application support, and networking opportunities. I'll give you a second to read up on those. It, again, gives kind of a little bit of the same overview that I already went over, and then I'll jump into the application. All right, let's move on to the application. So as an overview of the application, I'm going to go over the things that you need to submit, the questions you need to answer, and make sure that you have the best foot forward when you're applying to the summit. So to start off, your application, you are going to select the industry day that you are enthused about, the industry day that specifically correlates with the graduate school degree that you hope to attain, or that you plan to attain, actually. So you are going to select the day you would like to attend based on your expected graduate degree pathway. Now, those days that I'm talking about, I'm referencing back to the STEM and Health, Arts and Humanities, Law and Policy, and Business industry days. Secondly, you're going to tell us a little bit about yourself with your personal information, your most up-to-date email address, and your phone number. Then this is where things kind of take a little pivot depending on where you are in life right now. If you are a student, you're going to fill out the student-specific information on our application. You are going to talk about your current, your expected graduate school enrollment date, hopefully sometime in the next 2 years, the degree you're currently enrolled in, and if you hold any leadership positions on campus, as well as if you qualify for and have right now need-based aid for your undergraduate degree. If you are a working professional, you're going to answer similar questions, but specifically on the working professional side. So we have a specific section for you, and you are going to talk about your expected graduate school enrollment date, but you're going to also talk about your degree that you attained already, or multiple degrees that you have attained, and if you hold any leadership positions in your community, as well as if you qualified for need-based aid, or if you will need need-based aid for your graduate school degree. Next, you will also have an opportunity to choose schools of interest based on our partner school list. So you will see an entire list of our partner schools, and you will get to select the ones that are of interest to you. Now, I will say, in my personal experience, I only applied to a few schools when I was going to college. And so I know what it's like to look at a list of schools and say, you know, I don't know if any of these schools are my dream school. I don't know if any of these schools are the schools that I really want to attend. However, here's what I will say, right? At the end of the day, the summit is a great opportunity for you to learn more information about these schools. There are so many schools in the country, you might not have even heard of some of them. In Massachusetts, we have some of our top graduate schools, and those graduate schools are going to be at the summit. So I encourage you to select a few schools that you might not have considered before and come to the summit and learn more about those schools and expand your search network, because at the end of the day, you can never apply to too many graduate schools. It's just more opportunities for you. Okay. Next up, we have an upload. You are going to upload your one-page resume or CV. You can feel free to use the sample resume template that we have provided as a reference, but your resume does not have to look exactly like that resume template to be accepted. However, I will say all documents must be uploaded in PDF form. Next, you have a couple of prompts. So you have a question prompt, which is a required statement, which is, why do you want to attend graduate school? Like I said, we're trying to make sure that we know exactly what you're passionate about. We want to hear, why are you going to graduate school? What is exciting to you about it? What are your goals for the future? So take that opportunity to draft a 250 to 300 word response, just to make sure that you can properly articulate exactly what you want to make sure that we know more about you. And then we have an optional video prompt, which is, leadership is taking responsibility for what matters to you. What matters to you and why? So if you know that written, not really your thing, but you prefer to express yourself in more of a verbal format or a video format, take advantage of the optional video prompt and actually complete that prompt so that we can see face to screen what your passions are and what matters to you. To do that, you're going to provide a 3 to 5 minute link to your video presentation or email to myself at yolanda@leadershipbrainery.org. And lastly, you're going to upload a little bit of additional information if you would like to, such as a link to your LinkedIn profile and a typical confirmation that all the information that you have uploaded is truthful and correct. Okay. Again, if you have any questions about anything I'm going over, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, but we are rapidly approaching our Q&A session. All right. What I want to give is a little bit of advice and encouragement for you. I understand that applying to things can feel daunting. It can feel like a lot. And so I wanted to start out by saying we are providing multiple modalities for you to express yourself. So think of the application as a way for you to kind of introduce yourself to us before you attend the summit, right? Utilize those opportunities. Do the video if that's your thing. Write the statement if that's what you prefer. Do express yourself as many ways as you feel best so that we can get to know you. Be authentic, be you, and present your best self, whatever your best self is to you. I want you to be comfortable and approach the application knowing that you are just expressing who you are as a person, and you don't have to bolster anything beyond that. I want you to read all of the questions carefully. None of the questions are too confusing or shouldn't be too wordy. However, make sure you read all the questions carefully just to make sure that you're answering them exactly as they are asked. Proofread, proofread, proofread as well. Make sure that the answers that you are giving are written the way you want them to be written, spelled out the way you want them to be spelled, and make sure that you're presenting your best self in that way. And last but not least, make sure all aspects of the application are completed before you submit, especially considering that there are 2 sections, one for students and one for working professionals. Make sure that you are filling out the section that applies to you in full, and also that you're not filling out too many sections that might not apply to you. Okay. Approach this application knowing, again, that it should only take you about 20 to 30 minutes maximum. And it should be fun, right? You want to go to graduate school for very specific reasons that you know and that are true to you, and we would like to get to know those reasons more from you through the application. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to send me an email and I'm happy to answer any of those questions. However, oh, I'm sorry, I keep skipping ahead of myself. I'm going to go through the timeline right before we get into the Q&A. So this is a little bit of a timeline to make sure that you know exactly what is coming up right on the horizon, some dates to know and some dates to consider as you apply or as you're thinking of your application that you already submitted. So our application opened on July 19th. And our priority decision deadline for applications is August 19th. So it's this Friday. So if you've already applied, you will be receiving information about your application after this Friday. However, if you haven't applied yet, I highly encourage you to apply by our priority deadline. There might even be some bonuses, free test prep, some of those things coming on the horizon for those of you that have applied by the priority decision deadline. Next, as I said, decisions will be released on a rolling basis after this Friday, August 19th, and all the way up to our final deadline, September 18th. All right. And then last but not least, October 11th through the 14th are our summit dates. I encourage you to take a snapshot, a screenshot of this timeline for your records, just so you know what's coming up and what dates to follow. And that leads us into our Q&A. So I'll take a second, sit back, and let you type your questions into the chat. And as they come up, I'll answer them as many as I can. However, if I don't get a chance to answer your question, or if you have one that you think of later, there is also a frequently asked questions page on our website at leadershipbrainery.org that you can take advantage of. All right, it looks like we already have a question. So the question is, can you apply to multiple of the industry days? Can you attend multiple of the industry days for the summit? The answer to that question is unfortunately no at the moment. So currently our application and the way our graduate school summit is set up is that unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, I'll get into that in a minute, you can only attend one of the industry days. That is mainly so that we at Leadership Brainery can prioritize your interests and make sure that we're setting every student up for success, or every applicant up for success, to make sure that you're getting the tools and tips that you need specific to the industry that you're interested in. However, I understand that you might want to connect with a school that might not be attending on your industry day. And what I encourage you to do is either send us an email. My email is yolanda@leadershipbrainery.org, or you can take advantage of our platform, Dear Future Colleague. That's dearfuturecolleague.org, and you can make a profile on that page and actually connect to those graduate schools that you might not be able to see on your industry day. I also see another question in the chat. Do you have to be from Boston or Massachusetts in order to apply or attend? So at the moment, no, you don't have to be from Boston or Massachusetts. We are more than willing to accept any applicants from any part of the country. However, we acknowledge that we will not be able to pay or fund your transportation from wherever you're coming from outside of Massachusetts to the Massachusetts area. But as long as you can get here, say you have friends who live in the area, say you're coming back here for school, but you're not currently here yet, feel free to apply and attend our summit. So no, you do not have to be from Boston or the Massachusetts area to attend. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? Okay, I see another one. What happens if I don't apply by the priority decision deadline? That is a great question. I know we've been talking a lot. If you've seen our social media, we keep advertising the priority decision deadline. However, there is no penalty to you personally if you don't apply by the priority decision deadline. There are some benefits and bonuses to those who have applied or do apply by the priority decision deadline. But if you don't, our application doesn't close until September 18th. So you have up until that point to submit your application for the summit and have that reviewed and potentially get accepted as well. Let's see. The next question that I see is, okay, if I apply to the summit and if I get accepted and attend the summit, does that guarantee that I get admitted to the graduate schools that I'm applying to? It's a great question, and I wish that we could offer that sort of benefit or bonus to you, but unfortunately, we at Leadership Brainery cannot guarantee that you will be accepted to the graduate school program that you are applying to. Fortunately for you though, attending the summit and being affiliated with Leadership Brainery does offer you some benefits, right? So our graduate schools that we partner with are dedicated to making sure that the students who come through Leadership Brainery, the working professionals who come through Leadership Brainery, are prioritized in the application process. So that is a benefit to you, as well as some schools even offer fee waivers to applicants that come through Leadership Brainery. So although we cannot ensure that you do get accepted to those graduate school programs, there are a lot of benefits to going through Leadership Brainery on your pathway to get there. All right, if selected, do I have to attend the entire day? We encourage you fully to attend the entire day. And that is also additionally why on our application, we have a question that asks if you are available on that industry day. We would not want to, as our application process is highly selective, we wouldn't want to offer the opportunity to somebody to attend a half day if there's another person who really wants to attend the full day and has that opportunity to attend and is free that full day. However, if you plan to attend the full day, something comes up, a family emergency, anything in your life comes up that you have to leave early, of course that is acceptable, and we will get you the resources that you need that you might be missing. However, again, as I said before, we highly encourage you to only apply to an industry day that you are willing and able to attend fully. All right, let's see. I think we might have time for one more, so I'll wait for one more to come through. Okay, I see one last question. I'm not able to attend the graduate school summit. However, I really want to connect with these schools, these partner schools, in other ways. How can I connect with those partner schools? So we hate to see that you can't come to the summit. We really want everybody to attend the summit. We want you to be there in person for this opportunity of a lifetime. However, I understand that not everybody can. If you are unable to attend the summit, of course, feel free to email myself at yolanda@leadershipbrainery.org with any questions or things that you are needing throughout your application process. However, I've mentioned it before, I highly encourage you to take advantage of dearfuturecolleague.org. You can make a profile free of charge and actively connect with those graduate schools there. Think of it like a virtual way to do what you are getting, a deeper dive into at the summit. Oh, and I see, I will take this last question because I just saw it pop up. How many people are being selected for each day? That is a great question. So I did mention that the summit is a highly selective process. The application process is highly selective, and we are actually only accepting 20 individuals for each day. That's 80 people total. So that means that we are dedicated to making sure that the students and working professionals who are able to attend the summit are those who are dedicated to applying to graduate school and hopefully interested in applying to some of our partner schools as well during our application process. We're also dedicated to making sure that we have the best applicants at the summit. So that is why I said before, make sure you proofread your application, make sure it presents your best self, because this is a highly selective process and only 80 people total will be able to attend the summit. 20 each day. All right. If you have any other questions, again, you've heard my email a couple times. Email me directly or visit our frequently asked questions page on our website at leadershipbrainery.org if I was not able to get to your question today. And last but not least, y'all, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for attending our info session and hopefully for either applying or looking to apply very soon to our summit. We look forward to reviewing your applications. My contact information is there. Take a screenshot if you need to, a picture with your phone. Let me know if you have any questions along the way, but I value each and every one of you, and we are so looking forward to helping you get to graduate school, get to your postgraduate opportunities, and get to wherever you need to go in life. All right, thank you so much again, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you.